All right, man. What's going on, everybody, man? Welcome back to another episode of The Truth with Najeh Wilkins, man. Appreciate y'all tuning in, man. Got a jam-packed show for y'all. This is all college football all the time, man. I know what to do. We debuting, like I said, every single Wednesday. I think we're gonna do either 6:30 or 7. Y'all boys, let me know what time y'all prefer, 6:30 or 7. Putting it up obviously on the channel and just talking college football. Think I'm gonna get into some graphics as well, man. Just giving my top players, obviously to watch out for my top 10 receivers, my top 10 quarterbacks and all that good stuff, man. So y'all make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. You can follow me on all platforms at Najeh Wilk. I do high school football, I do college football, college basketball, high school basketball, all of it, man. That's what we do. But let's go ahead and get right into it, man. And let's talk about the latest with college football, man. And let's go ahead and start off with this NIL, man. This is kind of crazy what we're seeing in the state of Mississippi. So it says the state of Mississippi is working to make NIL money tax exempt to gain a recruiting advantage for their schools over other states. Mississippi House passed a no tax on NIL money bill to make playing in the state more enticing. So what this tells me is what Mississippi is trying to do with obviously all their athletes and their players that they have come in the state that usually leave. Hey, why don't you stay on home, right? We're going to have this tax exemption for you. You know what I'm saying? Potentially, we're going to pass this bill where you don't have to worry. All of your funds are yours. You have to pay no taxes on it. Now, has obviously brought in the outcry because a lot of people have said, well, no, Naj, that's not fair. You know what I'm saying? Teachers should be getting things like this. They only make 30, 40K a year. And I'm with y'all. You know what I'm saying? But as we can see here, Mississippi wants to make it more enticing. Mississippi obviously wants to make it to where people want to come to play for their state. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to worry about NIL earnings. If you're making 500K a year, you ain't got to worry about paying taxes on that. Crazy to think about in the state of Mississippi. But they are being proactive and they are obviously trying to set that trend and be that pioneer when it comes to this. My honest thoughts, it is tough. Some states don't have income tax. We know about the Floridas and the Texas. Um, I'm all for the athletes getting money. Let me not sit here and act like I think that's a problem with them getting money. I think there has to be other legislation for different careers that should be in the same boat. But for this part, I don't know, man, because the sports are all over the place right now, man. I mean, obviously, NCAA is always getting sued. You got lawmakers going up against what they're obviously trying to do. It's a tough spot because, like, on one end, for me, I'm not against it, but on the other end, I can't see what people are talking about in terms of, oh, well, this is not good because then the players can just go buck wild. They'll have to pay taxes on it. They can do whatever they want. This is a free for all. I get that standpoint. But at the same time, for the players, they put their bodies on the line, right? They go out there and they play at a high level. And at any point with a transfer portal that's once a year, you're basically on a 1 year contract if you think about it. So why not trying to earn as much money as you can? Just because you're making 500,000 one year or 400,000 one year, you might not be making that the next year. You might have to go transfer to another school and take a pay cut potentially. So I'm all for the players obviously getting their money, but at the same time, I get what other people are saying as well. So I'm a little on the fence when it comes to this, but very interesting rule in college football to say the least. All right, so we'll leave that there, man. We're gonna keep it rolling with some other major topics, man, and let's go ahead with the headliner for the show, as you guys can see with obviously my thumbnail for the show, and we're gonna talk about Heze Kent, who is drawing quite the buzz right now. 313-pound tight end for Florida. Now, most people were in awe of this. I'm going to run the clip.
I am usually I am usually I am usually
Now, obviously, this went viral. This is via Dylan Olive. He obviously was there at their spring practice. As you guys know, spring practice is underway. And if you follow Brunswick football, you know this is not out of the ordinary, right? I think Florida was one of those rare schools that was giving him the opportunity to try this 6'6", 313, and be able to try out to be obviously a tight end. Most are going to say, like Brooke Austin said, and he went viral. You'll save a lot of money with your knees if you just decide to obviously, use, what I'm saying, the other part of your body. Let me find his tweet real quick while we pull this up. 1 second, y'all. Okay, here is Brooke Austin's tweet. Obviously, he's a well-known person and when it comes to the college football world. But he says, your knees and bank account will thank you if you make the position change you're avoiding, right? Obviously, most people believe that he should. This tweet alone got 1.5 million views. So it just goes to show you what, obviously Brooke Austin thinks. And obviously, people are, some are agreeing, some aren't, right? Now, to a degree, what it allows him to do is he's always been kind of a tweener, right? When you look at his game and his size, athleticism, this guy's caught over 900, receiving yards, in the season, 50 plus balls, a couple of touchdowns. He's a mismatch. He is. It's going to depend on him, right? I think 313 is a little bit too much, right? If he really wants to do it, I think he has to come down just a little bit in terms of the weight. I think about a 275, 280, I think he could actually pull this off, right? Dragging around 313 pounds for an offensive lineman, or excuse me, for a tight end, it's a little bit much, y'all. It's a little bit much, in my humble opinion. But I do think he's one of those guys that could pull it off, right? Because when you think about obviously the tight end position, it's not a position per se, guys, where you have to, be hit a whole bunch, right? And what do I mean by that? What I mean, y'all, is, tight end is a position where you can block, you know what I'm saying? And with his size and his strength and his power and speed, he could be a blocker. And then what he can do is he can go with his speed and athleticism, he can go and flank out, right? All those plays we see, those fake screens, and then you go up. A lot of people are not going to be paying attention to that. And then once he's in the open field, he's a terror to bring down, right? So what he's trying to do, I won't say it's unheard of, but it's probably a little bit different than what we're used to seeing. But Florida has had a number of guys of this weight, this size, and stature. They had a 6'4" or 6'8" guy, I think, on the defensive line. Now, Heze is different because he has a really good work ethic, and his size is not, it's not like sloppy, I would say. You know what I'm saying? It's a size that you can do and you can use, to be effective, right? And I think Florida took a real good chance on him, right? I think it could pay dividends. It all depends on him. I still think he might have to come down just a little bit, what I'm saying, about 30, 40 pounds to be equally effective, but he can easily be a tight end. This boy can play some football now, right? This boy can catch the ball and make plays and make you miss, right? He can do a lot of different things, right? So he went viral today for obviously the clip and catching the ball, all that good stuff. But Heze can be a true difference maker, right? It all depends on how they scheme and obviously advise him up. Now, with his size and his strength, y'all, he can easily play his freshman year with Florida, easily. And I think he has the work ethic to do it, right? So many are, oh, well, he should go on the offensive line. And why not do both? Why he can't catch passes too? He has strong hands. He's a big body. Why he can't catch passes too? And I think that's the part we shouldn't say, oh, well, you can save money by just making the position change. No. Why can't he play tight end? You know what I'm saying? Why he can't do both? Because tight ends, they also block, right? Why he can't flare out for a couple of routes down the field? Now he gets the blocking down along with the tight end, obviously lose a little bit of weight. Why he can't be 6'6", 275 in the league? Look at Darnell Washington. 6'6", 6'7", 270 plus pounds. Why Heze can't do that? Or he might be like 6'7", 250, whatever it is. Why can't Heze do that? Easily can. All I'm gonna say is he's an athlete. Don't put limitations on him. You know what I'm saying? Allow him to be great. Allow him to be him. I think he should do it. I think come down a little bit on the weight. I think Heze could be one of those guys, those tweeners. Show other guys, hey, you can do it too. That's my stance on it. All right, y'all. Let's keep it rolling. That was the big topic for today. Let's talk about Ari and Andy. They released their top 10 games, man. I want to kind of talk about this a little bit. Juicest games of 2026. So let's talk about it a little bit of what we're going to be seeing, obviously, this year. All right. Now, at number 10, Texas A&M. Obviously, y'all, that's a rivalry game. You know what I'm saying? Texas A&M trying to get their good back. That kind of set them off a little bit last year when they lost that game. Because remember, they lost, and then, they ended up losing in the playoff to Miami. You know what I'm saying? Replacing some pieces this year, but you can bring back your quarterback. Marcel Reed was obviously is going to help you out a lot. And for Texas, it was a big win for you. Obviously beating your rival. Finished off the season strong. Both teams felt like they went opposite directions at the end of that game. Texas A&M down this way. Texas up. I think that'll be a really good rematch to see those. Then you have Duke at Miami. Of course, that's going to be a juicy game, right? Because Darian Mensah left Duke to go to Miami. Obviously, that's going to be the big storyline there. How will Manta play? Will there be any bad blood? And remember, Miami also got Cooper Barkate from Duke as well. Now, Duke's going to have a whole different quarterback at the helm. They'll still have Nate Shepard, but they're going to lose some pieces, right? They're going to lose Anthony Jones. They're going to lose Cooper Barkate. They're losing pieces from the team that won the ACC championship last year, right? So that is a pretty juicy game to say the least. Excuse me. Then you have a pretty good one. I'm actually excited for this one. I think they cooked with this one. Oregon at USC. That's gonna be a good game. Now, last year a lot of the pressure was on Lincoln Riley. I think those whispers you won't hear them as much this year because they went 9-3. They had a pretty good record, and they played really well under Jaden Mayava. Now, Makai Lemon leaves, and obviously guys I think like Jacoby Lane, but nonetheless, USC should be a pretty good football team in 2026, right? Well, they bring it back, Corey Sims, several really good players. We'll see how they look in the spring, but should be a good team. Oregon, you cooked, right? You went and you brought back Dante Moore. You got Dylan Rayola, who's the heir apparent, right? You got a really good running back room. You lose Kenyon Sadiq, who goes off to the NFL, but you have plenty of pieces in there. You got one of the top guys out of North Carolina and Kendra Harrison, or Kendra. I'm just called Kendra. I can't think of his last name right now. He comes in now to help you out. Really good running back room. You still got Brandon Finney Jr. on the outside playing DB. You got Decorian Moore for another year, right? Oregon has the pieces. It's just those big games. Can you win them? That's the big question. Can you win those big games? And then obviously number 7, that's a homecoming, right? Remember Brendan Sorsby? He's getting sued by Cincinnati actually right now because remember he left and decided to go to Texas Tech and they needed a quarterback really bad. He returns back home to Cincinnati where all his stardom had his 27 touchdowns, only a couple of interceptions. That's going to be a pretty good game, obviously, in Cincinnati to see who comes out on top. And will the Bearcats be the same program without a Brendan Sorsby? We should find out. And a very disappointing finish to a great year for Texas Tech, who went 12-2. How will you rebound under Brendan Sorsby, who I think is a better quarterback than Brendan Morton? My personal opinion. All right, then you have Penn State, Michigan. This was interesting. I don't know if this one will have the same luster that we're probably looking for here. Both teams make obviously a coaching switch. No more James Franklin. He's at Virginia Tech. Obviously, you're going to have Matt Campbell as your new coach. Rocco Beck's going to be your quarterback. Michigan, Bryce Underwood, new head coach, and Kyle Whittingham. I don't know if that game has much luster as it usually does because what can you really expect? Will Michigan be any good? Will Penn State rebound from a down year when it's supposed to be good? When you brought back Katron Allen, you brought back Nicholas Singleton, you brought back Drew Aller. Will Penn State still be relevant enough? I don't know. I don't feel like that game's as juicy as it usually is. My personal opinion. Then you have a pretty good one. Now, this one's very exciting. Florida, Auburn. I think that's going to be a damn good game. A damn good game. You know what I'm saying? Because Florida starts a new regime with John Summerall. He's making them boys earn it. New quarterback at the helm. I think they'll have a quarterback competition, I'm pretty sure. You know what I'm saying? You brought back Jaden Ball, who was, one of the biggest pieces you had to bring back, you know what I'm saying, for the upcoming year. And then Auburn starts a new regime, right? No more Deuce Knight. He went transferred to Ole Miss, right? Obviously, Jackson Arnold, he leaves. Oklahoma, and then obviously Auburn didn't work out. He's starting a new regime elsewhere. Who will be your starting quarterback? Because if you're Auburn, you've always had a really good defense. Yes, you lose pieces like Jalen Crawford. You know what I'm saying? You lose pieces like Cam Coleman. And then for Auburn, how do you replace all those wide receivers? No Cam Coleman, no Malcolm Simmons, who's at Texas Tech. Cam Coleman's at Texas, right? No Perry Thompson. Like, how do you replace that receiving core? You did bring back Sam Turner, but who else is going to step up? That's going to be a pretty interesting game. And you have a new head coach as well, Alex Golish, who's going to be your starting or your head coach. Very interesting to see, man, when those two teams play in September, how that game's going to be. And it could weigh a lot and weigh a ton when we look at the playoff picture, potentially. All right. And then obviously, I think Nick cooked with this one too, man. Georgia at Alabama. That rivalry, obviously, Alabama's leading it. They've been, whooping up on Georgia, but they've given us some really good games the last few years. Two really good teams. Last year, they went into Georgia, got the victory. Ty Simpson, I was almost like kind of his coming out party, and they didn't have an answer for him. They really didn't. And then Georgia whooped up on Alabama in the SEC championship game and made them boys look futile. You know what I'm saying? Beat them, I think it was 28-7. So that rivalry is like, it's becoming a rivalry, if we're being honest. It's becoming a rivalry, and both teams are going back and forth now. So it's interesting to see. Killing the board, it's been a little bit closer to a degree. Don't count the SEC championship game, But in general, Georgia's been getting a couple. Bama's been getting a couple. Very interesting to see. New starting quarterback should be Keelan Russell. They should have a quarterback competition. We'll see what happens. If you're Georgia, you feel good. You bring back so many pieces. You bring back Gunnar Stockton. You lose Zachariah Branch, but then you bring back Taylor Taylor. Everybody's raving about this kid. You go look at the NFL Combine interviews. Everybody's talking about Taylor Taylor. So you bring him back. You bring back, obviously, CJ Wilder. He comes back. Ethan Barbour comes off his injury. Still have Sokovie White. A lot of pieces for Georgia. Defense could be pretty good. You lose, some pieces, but should be a very good team. Got some young thoroughbreds coming down the pike. That's going to be a pretty damn good game in October. I'm excited for that one. I'll talk about it later. Miami, Notre Dame, 100%. 100%. Notre Dame wants to smoke. They felt like they should have been in, but Miami proved they went all the way to the national championship game with a chance to win it. If they have Cam Ward, if they have Darian Mensah, I think they beat Indiana. Respectfully. Indiana's a good team, had D'Angelo Pons, Fernando Mendoza, Roman Hinby. Really good football team. I don't think they beat Miami if they had Darian Mensah. Say, call it what you want. With that defense, Ruben Bain, Keem Messenger, how they played, I don't think they do it. So Miami showed we deserve to be in, right? Which is going to create some controversy, because Notre Dame, if they're in the top 12, they get an automatic bid. So it'll be very interesting to see these at-large bids if Notre Dame is indeed good, because they only get at-large. They're independent. Excuse me. They're not in the conference. It'll be very interesting to see. You know what I'm saying? Because that game last year was played at the beginning of the season. And people was like, no, Miami shouldn't. Two different teams. They shouldn't be in. You always have to respect the head-to-head. I don't care when it came. Respect the head-to-head matchups. This is why they lace them up. This is why they put it on. You know what I'm saying? You got to respect that. That's going to be a good game. And then it's in November. So now there's no excuse. Both teams have played a bunch of games. You're hitting the nitty-gritty, right? Thanksgiving on about 3 weeks away. We're going to see what both teams is made of. That's going to be a big game, and I think it's going to do a lot for both team resumes, whoever wins if both teams are good this year. Hell of a game. Number 2, Ohio State, Texas. Not a bad game at all, to say the least, man. That's a really interesting one because both teams' defenses took over. But remember, they played in week 1 of the season last year, right? Now, Ohio State, you're replacing a lot. No Sonny Styles, no Arville Reese, no Caleb Downs. You know what I'm saying? You do got a young thoroughbred at the running back spot in Bo Jackson. He's pretty damn good. You do bring back Jeremiah Smith. You do got Chris Henry Jr. But you lose your offensive coordinator, Brian Hartline, who's now at USF, right? So how will that offense look, number 1? Number 2, how do you replace those pieces you lost? I forgot also, too, for Ohio State. No Caden McDonald either. He's going to the NFL draft. How do you replace all that? You know what I'm saying? I don't know when it comes to Ohio State. I don't know. And I feel like Texas is a team we just talked about. They're ascending. You go get a Rillick Brown. You go get a Hollywood Smothers. You go get a Cam Coleman. You know what I'm saying? You bring back Ryan Wingo, who's going to, be on the opposite boundary with him. You go and get Rasheem Biles from Pittsburgh. Texas is going to be damn good next year, right? Yes, there's going to be pressure. But I think Texas is going to be that team that goes, have a lot, weapons, running game, offensive line they got to figure out, for sure. I'm with y'all. But I would give Texas the odds on favorite to win that game. I would. I would. All right. LSU Ole Miss. Okay? 100% one of the juiciest games. How Lane Kiffin did Ole Miss will never be forgotten. And he did it to Tennessee before too, but he just has a terrible way of just doing that. Unfortunately, it's the reality of Lane Kiffin. This is what he does. You know what I'm saying? And a team, credit to Ole Miss. I know they've been in the storylines with Pete Golden and everything going on, and what obviously Clemson head coach Dabo Swinney did. I get it. But the fact they was able to win multiple games, beat Georgia in the Sugar Bowl, have Miami, on the ropes at the end, they did damn good for themselves. Ole Miss did damn good for themselves to get that far. Right? And they bring back, I got to see the situation with Trinidad Chambliss. I heard he got the injunction. Is it legit? Well, NCAA chick accent? I don't know. I got to figure that out myself. But you bring back Keywan Lacey. You know what I'm saying? You bring back some several pieces. You have to replace Caden Lee, but you bring back a lot of your defensive players as well. LSU spent a lot in the portal, $4 to $5 million. And they're already seeing the pressure is on Lane Kiffin to win a natty. They're not even seeing win a conference. They're not even seeing get to the college football playoff. Y'all, they see a national championship in year one. That's a hell of an expectation for a head coach. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if they do that year one. Can he be competitive? Yes. Bring in Jace Brown, bring in Garrett Nussmeier, Jordan Seaton, a couple players from Ole Miss. But Natty, I don't know. But that's going to be the game to watch September 19th. So they did cook with some of these games. They did. I think the top 5 is good. If I'm honest, I get a top 5 at A+. They're going to be some damn good games next year. You know what I'm saying? Penn State, Michigan, I don't really see it. I think, you know what I'm saying, you can throw up there Clemson, LSU. You know what I'm saying? I keep saying that game. I think that game is going to be better than y'all think. I know there's question marks about Clemson. Clemson's going to want to get their get back, y'all. And a lot of people going to overlook them this year. I think Dabo got something up his sleeve. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's going to be a much better team than people think. So I'll go Clemson, LSU. I would even go Miami, Clemson. Either one of those games, I think will be better than Penn State, Michigan. Just my take. You know what I'm saying? Also better than Duke, Miami. I know it's the homecoming. I know we're going to talk about Darian Mintz. I get it. But those are 2 games I would replace with those, to me. Oregon, USC, I like. Texas A&M, I like. Those games would be better. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion. And I think you can't forget about a Bruin rivalry potential as well. Now, Georgia's been whooping them. 8 consecutive games they won against them. But Georgia Tech is not far off from Georgia. We're going to see this year because Coach Key got to replace a lot. Replacing Coach Peoples, Coach Eubanks, Buster Faulkner, Trent McKnight. You're placing damn near everybody. Big year on the flats, though. That Georgia Tech rivalry might be getting renewed a little bit. But we're going to leave that there. We're going to leave that there. We're going to leave it there. Yes, sir. All right. Let's keep going, man. All right. Appreciate everybody tuning in, man. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Y'all love my college show. Please let me know topics you want to see on the show. I'm trying to grow this thing. All right. Joel Klatt, top 10 offensive players. Let's look at it in the NFL draft. Number 1, Fernando Mendoza. No. I'm not going to go Fernando number 1. I'm going to go Jeremiah Love. You don't believe me? Argue with your mama. Okay? Go roll the tape and look what he did against USC. I rest my case. Boy is dynamic. Whoever gets him, I think he's a day 1 starter. Period. Day 1. Best player in the draft. Offensively. No question about it for me. It's Jeremiah Love. Number 2, if you want to go Fernando Mendoza, sure. And I know he bombed his interviews, and I know it was terrible. I feel like he was trolling. Number 2, I'm going to go Mekhi Lemon. Boy's a dog. Go roll the tape. I get it. I know the interview process was terrible. I'm with y'all. I get it. I'm going Mekhi Lemon. Go look what he did on the football field. Biletnikoff Award winner. Couldn't be stopped. Took over games for USC. Bro is a dog. He's my number 2. Number 3, I'm going to go Fernando Mendoza. Okay? Now, the reason I don't put him above those guys, he was good last year. Played exceptionally well. Should be the number 1 quarterback. I'm not refuting that. I'm not going to say Dan Orlovsky and say, oh, Ty Simpson is in the same. No, they're not. 2 different players. I do feel like, however, that Fernando Mendoza had more around him. You know what I'm saying? In order to kind of help his success. As compared to Jeremiah Love, had to kind of carry more of the load a little bit. Yes, he had Jordan Faison, Malachi Fields, Jadarian Price, but a lot of the time, it was a Jeremiah Love show. And you can make the argument he should have been more in the Heisman conversation as well. Mekhi Lemon's another one that affected the games a lot. Yes, they had Jacoby Lane, but when the game was on the line, Jada Mayava was going to Mekhi Lemon. So that's why I would put the 3 like that. All right. Number 4, I would put Francis McGowan. You know what I'm saying? Because of how good he is at the offensive tackle spot. He can come in and start day 1 as well. You know what I'm saying? And if you need you a blue chip offensive lineman for the future, you go get him. Bro's a dog. Go watch the tape. Mulling people. Get into the second level. Not giving up sacks and pressures. Different animal. He's my number 4. Okay? Number 5. Y'all gonna look at me crazy. I like Carnell Tate. I'm gonna go Keon Sadiq. Tight end should be the number 1 off the board at the tight end spot. I feel like the upside is a little bit more to Carnell Tate. He can do a little bit more things in the offense to me. Look at Oregon, the spread, him getting the ball. Keon Sadiq is him. I'm going to put him number 5. Then I'm going to go with Carnell Tate. And the reason is, yes, Jeremiah Smith gets a lot of love, a lot of targets. I get it. Carnell Tate's a baller himself. I just feel like far too often he was overshadowed. Not all his fault. I understand y'all, but at the same time, if you that guy, and I ain't saying he should take away reps. Let me see you put up the numbers too. You know what I'm saying? Let me see you ball out too. You know what I'm saying? And to bring home the point, let me see his numbers. You know what I'm saying? Okay, 875 yards receiving, and he had 9 touchdowns, right? Over the course of his career at Ohio State, 1,872 yards and 14 touchdowns. He had 733 yards in 2024 and 4 touchdowns. That's my point. Again, I get you got Jeremiah Love, but you go look at some of these players. Marvin Harrison got his. Jackson Smith and Jigba got his. That's what I mean by the point. He's good. He can play. I ain't saying he shouldn't be the first round pick. But I'm talking about top offensive players. I'm going to get a nod to Keon Sadiq. That boy's something different. That's just my personal preference. Then I'm going to go Jordan Tyson after Carnell Tate over Spencer Fano. Good offensive lineman, can play at a high level, should be able to help a team next year at NFL franchise. Jordan Tyson, when he's healthy, y'all, dynamic playmaker, man. Dangerous with the ball in his hands, can cook people. Dude is him, elite. Just got to stay healthy. Okay? Then I would go Spencer Fano, league offensive lineman. I agree with Penn State offensive guard, interior. I would go Vega Ione. Pretty good guy offensively as well. Number 10, but Ty Simpson. I don't know, y'all. I don't think he would be my number 10. No, I don't think he would be my number 10. You know what I'm saying? People are high on him. I'm not the highest on him. Yeah, I'm just not, y'all. You know what I'm saying? I think Ty Simpson, there's more you can get there. You know what I'm saying? Out of that position, in my opinion. So who would I replace him with? Because this is more of a defensive draft than anything. And the thing is, I'm looking through it now, y'all. There's not a lot of guys. I'm going to show y'all my tabs. That's what I'm looking at. There ain't a lot of guys, though, in terms of offensive. So I can see why he went 10 there. You know what I'm saying? There ain't a lot. Even if you go to the second page, y'all, like, I'm not going to put a Mark Cooper above Ty Simpson. I'm not going to put Emmanuel Pregnon above him, Zechariah Brent. So, yeah, I guess I would have to concede. Yeah, I have to give it to Ty Simpson on Joe Klatt's list as number 10 offensive player because there's not really too many more you can say that are better than him according to that. But solid list, like I said, I would put Jeremiah Love 1. Number 2, obviously I'm going to put Mekhi Lemon. 3, I'm going to put Fernando Mendoza. 4, Francis McGowan. 5, I'm putting Keon Sadiq. 6, I'm putting Carnell Tate. 7, Spencer Fano. No, 7, Jordan Tyson. 8, Spencer Fano. 9, Vega Ione. And then 10, I'm putting Ty Simpson. That's how I would do it if I was to reorder, obviously, this list. All right, man. Let's leave that there. Okay. More to talk about. Let's go ahead and talk about what Josh Heupel has been saying in the media. Several things we want to talk about on the channel today before we wrap it on up. All right. So this is Tennessee head coach Josh Heupel. He talked to On3's Chris Lowe, and this is his goal. My goal is to win a championship too, and that's why I want to be here. I know you can do it here, Heupel told Lowe. We're in a race to get it done as fast as possible. Heupel led the Vols to his lone college football playoff appearance in 2024. They fell to Ohio State 42-17 in the first round. Yes, they did. I love the people that we have here, and that's our staff and our players. We're going to compete for that thing every day. Tennessee added former Penn State defensive coordinator Jim Knowles and former Indiana special teams coordinator, I think that is, or no, my bad, y'all. That's strength and conditioning coach Derek Owens in the offseason, and will look to use those championship level hires to their advantage in 2026. I think, too, when we think about Tennessee, they overachieved last year in 2025. They did. Nobody thought Tennessee was going to be good. Go back to the press clippings. Like, go back to media day. Who thought Tennessee was going to be good last year? Please, besides Tennessee fans. Nobody did. Let's be honest. You know what I'm saying? So he overachieved with a roster that thought Joey Aguilar was going to be trash. They didn't think the young boys was ready, Jake Mertlinger or George McIntyre. And he absolutely cooked, right? Now, they lost some games. Defense should have been a lot better. We have a Joshua Josephs. We have a Colton Hood. When you have Boo Carter, I know he didn't finish the season with them. They should have been a lot better. But I think this year when you bring in a Jim Knowles and bring in an experienced guy as a defensive coordinator, I think this team's going to be good. Yes, you lose Peyton Lewis, but you bring back, obviously, some of your young thoroughbreds. Deshaun Bishop's going to be your running back one. You got some young guys coming in. Still got Jordan Baker on the roster. You know what I'm saying? You got good pieces. And you got one of the best receiving corps nobody's talking about. Brought in 5-star Tristan Keys. Let's see if he can get a spot. You still got Travis Smith Jr. You still got Mike Matthews. And you still have Braylon Staley. Pretty damn good roster. You know what I'm saying? Offensive line, you still got, obviously, the 5-star David Sanders. You know what I'm saying? You bring back some pieces there, too. Linebacker-wise, you got Jaden Parlati. He's chomping at the bit to play. You know what I'm saying? And you brought back Arian Carter, too, that nobody's talking about. So, yes, you lose some pieces, but they should be in a better position this year. Tennessee should be in a 9 to 10 win range. Nobody's talking about them enough, though. But should definitely be in that range. So, people have been coming for Josh Heupel about the second topic we're going to talk about. But I think this is a team. They should be a lot better. I think he made the necessary changes, brought in the necessary talent. What they're going to have to hit on is defense has to be a lot better. And you're going to have to hit on your QB1. Is that George McIntyre? Or is that 5-star Faison Brandon? Gonna have to figure that out. You know what I'm saying? Last year they didn't figure it out to fall camp. Who's QB1? Biggest question for the Volunteers. Who is QB1? Got to figure that out. All right. Now, he's also in the news for several other things that we want to talk about, obviously, on the show for today. And this right here. Now, he's getting some flack for this. We talked about it. Obviously, I did a whole video on this. But he prefers a 2014 playoff spot. The way college football is constantly changing, that probably makes the most sense. Now, I told y'all, I refute this. I'm with 16 teams. That's perfect number. Right there in the middle, not too much, not too little. You give the top 4 teams bye weeks. Let the other teams play. Then you bring in the top seeds to play. You know what I'm saying? In the quarterfinals. That is how it should be done. To me. 24, I'm with some of the people. It's too much. It's too much. Because at that point, you're degrading some of the season. We don't want that. We don't want it to be like the NBA where the season, nobody's paying attention. We live for the rivalries. We live for the Oregons, the USCs, right? We live for the Tennessees and the Floridas, the Georgias, Alabamas, the Ohio State, the Michigans. This is what we live for. We don't want to see this. We don't want to see games being devalued. If stay at 12, if you have to go up, go to 16. 24 is too damn much. It allows everybody in. And some of that's fluff. Some teams shouldn't be in. You know what I'm saying? Some teams shouldn't be in, and some teams should. That's why the number should be 16. No more, no less. 16. 24 is too damn much. Because then you basically put the top 24 in. No. The difference you make with 16, you allow one group of 5 teams to get in. Right? They get an automatic bid. Say what you want. Whether that's a playing spot for 15, 16, whatever you want to do. Let group of 5, to make it enticing, at least get one team in, automatic bid. You know what I'm saying? The rest of it, you let play out how it plays out. Right? 4 conference champions, automatic spot. You know what I'm saying? And then those at-large bids. But guarantee a spot for group of 5 where it makes it fair. And then the rest is open. So basically, you got 5 spots, right? all Power 4 conference champions get in. There's no ranking. They don't get a top 4 spot. They just get in. So 4 automatic qualifiers. The last one, group of 5. You have 11 at-large bids to get into a college football playoff. Makes a lot of sense to me. You know what I'm saying? Teams should be able to get in at that point. That's how I see it. That's how I think about it. I could be wrong, but 24 is too damn much. Too much. Way too much. So that's how I obviously see it. But y'all, that is going to pretty much do it for the show for today. Appreciate y'all as always for tuning in, man, watching The Truth with Najeh Wilkins, man. Spring practice is underway. Any news, headlines we see, we'll react on TikTok. Obviously, YouTube, I don't know what TikTok got going on. Always messing with my money. Always got some bug. I be doing well with my content, and then out of nowhere, every time. But please support, man. I'm trying to grow this YouTube handle, man. I'll make this a main thing, man. So please support. Like, comment, subscribe. Comment any ideas y'all have, any videos y'all want to see, please. And I will see y'all in the next one, man. I'm going to try to make this a regular thing every single Wednesday at 7 p.m. or 6:30, one of those times when I decide. So you guys can come here and enjoy college football the authentic way. But that's going to do it for today's show. I'll see you guys in the next one. And see you guys next week for the latest edition of The Truth with Najeh Wilkins. Till then, enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.